women like Ikmat. Ikmat works with the NHS as an information analyst. She was a stay-at-home mom, taking care of her kid. She wanted to get back into the job market. She came to us, did our data analytics program. Today, she works with the NHS, full visa sponsorship. We have somebody like Toyin. Toyin was a pharmacist back in Nigeria. Toyin currently works as a benefits analyst, also with the NHS, full visa sponsorship. Career path in the UK, for example, that would give you access to visa sponsorship. You get a COS, you don't stay too long in the job market, and you compete for the best jobs available. Data analytics,
Okay.
data science,
Okay.
data engineering.
You guys are writing down, taking notes. Those of you watching, take notes.
Absolutely. Cybersecurity.
Hello, I've got Adeza and Linda. Hi, welcome to Lulu's Diaries, and nice to have you guys here today. I am going to talk about Tenalytics today. I did a video already about how much they're impacting lives of immigrants everywhere in the world, trying to upskill themselves within the IT industry. And I'm privileged today to speak to the founder, Adeza, and Linda, who is an alumni who has been trained and has gotten herself a job. So I'll start with Adeza. Just introduce yourself really briefly, and I'll go to Linda next. So can you introduce yourself, where you're based, and why you came to the UK in the first place?
All right, fantastic. Thanks a lot for that, Lulus. My name is Adeza Suleiman, and I'm the founder of Tenalytics and the co-founder of Amdari. I have over a decade experience cutting across data analytics and management consulting. But just like so many people watching this video today, my first degree was in nothing related to computer science or nothing related to technology. I studied industrial chemistry. All right, wow. But then I transitioned, just like we've helped thousands of people also make similar transitions. Over the last 5 years, using Tenalytics as a platform, we've been able to help over 3,000 people transition from non-technology backgrounds into career path within the data ecosystem. So we've helped nurses become data analysts, healthcare reporting analysts. We've helped accountants become project managers. We've helped care workers become business analysts, and so on and so forth. I've worked as a data analytics consultant in the UK, in the US, and also in Canada, where I currently reside. I've worked with one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa as a management information systems analyst and as a business data analyst. And I've also worked as a data analytics consultant with FITC, owned by the Bankers Committee and the Central Bank of Nigeria. So all through my career, the focus has always been on helping organizations leverage data and also helping individuals like myself to also make that transition. The same way I transitioned from industrial chemistry, management consulting as my very first job into the structured workforce to becoming a data analyst all through the last decade. And I'm sure Linda would have one or two things to say about how we've been able to help her transition and other Africans in Africa and Africans in the diaspora to also transition. So I moved to the UK, and I would say, the co-founder of Tenalytics encouraged me to leave Nigeria. So at that point in time, I thought I was earning a lot of money in Nigeria as a data analyst working with one of the largest energy conglomerates. And then he asked me and said, Adeza, how much do you earn? I've been advising you to come to the UK, but it seems you don't want to leave Nigeria. So I was earning an amount that I felt was, a lot at that time.
Yeah.
And I shared my pay slip with him. And when he saw it, he said, you know that you can make the same amount within the space of 1 week in the UK. And of course, that opened my mind to so many more opportunities. And that was where I...
Just now to find out exactly about the money. Like money.
No, I mean, I can tell you how much I was earning. I think I was earning roughly around 750, between 600 and something K to 750K around that time. And he said I could make that in less than a week. Wow. And that was something that really encouraged me to start thinking about moving abroad. So one other thing that encouraged me, and I knew I wasn't going to struggle, because I landed my very first job when I moved to the UK 1 month after moving into the UK. And the reason why I was able to get that job was very simple. I had somebody like the co-founder, Ifemena, who had moved to Ireland, and from Ireland he moved to the UK. We had similar skills. We learned together while he was in Nigeria. We learned Excel, we learned Power BI, we learned Tableau, SQL together. So I knew he had exactly the same set of skills that I had back in
Yes.
Nigeria. So I knew that getting into the UK, I wasn't going to struggle to land a job. And I did not struggle because I
Yes.
had the right skills and I had the right experience. And that's why I love to advise people. The very first set of people you interact with when you move abroad can make or mar your career. If you
Yeah.
are always interacting with people who tell you that the menial jobs are the only type of jobs you can get, you will go for those menial jobs. But if you
Correct.
have somebody that would advise you that, look, you can get a job as a data analyst, a BI reporter, a BI developer, a data engineer, you will tilt towards that direction because you've seen somebody that has done the
I
same.
always say that just to echo what you've said, I always say that the
Yes,
person who picks you up from the airport determines almost your fate abroad, either to break or make.
abs- absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely.
that's interesting because I think it's a very good angle to look at it because a lot of Africans when they travel they think first about the care industry and they
Yes,
start doing the menial jobs because they've seen their uncles, aunties, and their jobs out there
yeah,
where it's night and day. So
yeah.
it's really impressive what your background is. Can I just
Yeah.
ask, were you able to get these jobs while you were back home, or did you have to be in the UK?
Brilliant. So before I even left Nigeria, I had started working for organizations both in the US and also in the UK. So the jobs in the US, I was able to get them working remotely on my own. At that time, I knew how to use Excel, I knew how to use Power BI. And I worked for this company that was looking to migrate their Tableau reports into Power BI. And I got that job and I did it for them. Now, Ifemena, the co-founder who was already in the UK, did a lot of contract jobs. And we
Yeah.
know that the contract jobs pay a lot, as
Yes.
high as £500, £800 per day.
Yeah, of
So he,
course.
he gets all these contracts, and of course, he can't do everything himself. So he
Yeah.
sends some of them to me. So while I was in Nigeria,
Yeah.
before I even moved to the UK, I was already working, working on projects for companies in the US and
Yes.
companies in the UK before I eventually moved abroad. So again, like I said, having the right set of skills is very important to how far you can go when you move abroad. A lot of
Yes.
people give the advice that, oh, when you're going to the UK, go learn how to barb hair so
Yes.
that you can cut hair and make money in the UK, or learn how to make hair for the ladies and so on. So the advice I always love to give is learn skills that are progressive. Learn about the region you plan to move to. What career paths are high in demand? Learn those skills. So when you get there, you can compete for the best type of jobs and eventually you'll just get one of them. So that's a bit about myself.
Okay.
And for the past decade, we've helped over 3,000 people like me to also make that transition into the tech ecosystem. And I'll share experiences and
Okay.
insights as we move on.
So, how would you currently describe the job market in 2025 within the IT industry?
All right. So I'll be very much specific to the UK. All right.
Yeah.
And we've had so many changes, new immigration policies implemented right from 22nd of July this year, some of them last year, April 2024. And when you have, I would call it chaos, you have chaos, so many changes. Facts are your friends. That's what I love to tell people. So look for the facts rather than looking for all the negative news that would circle around. Negative news travels very fast. So the question you'd ask yourself is, what are the facts? And let me focus on that. So number one fact is there are more people searching for jobs in the UK today compared to the number of jobs available. So the job market is very competitive. All right. So you have about 1,600,000 jobs, 1.6 million jobs. I beg your pardon, 1.6 million people who are unemployed and searching for jobs. but you have just about 800,000 jobs available. So it's a ratio of about two people, trying to get one job. So it's a bit daunting and more competitive today.
Yeah.
But that's the general UK ecosystem in
Yeah.
terms of the job opportunities. But if you distill it down to the tech ecosystem, the IT space, you'd realize that over the last quarter, you've had a 1.4 increase 1.4% increase in the number of jobs available. And the UK Department of Science and Innovation also release this report every year to show that 174,000 jobs are left unfilled every year. And what does that mean? It means that 174,000 jobs within the tech ecosystem are not filled simply because you don't have people applying to those jobs. Number one reason, because people would rather apply to other type of jobs that they feel would get them sponsorship a lot easier.
Yes.
So they don't apply. And the second reason is simply because for those who apply, they don't have the right skills and they don't have the right experience. All right. So these are the facts. More people searching for jobs in the
Yes.
general economy.
Yes.
However, in the tech ecosystem, you have 174,000 jobs that are available for the taking.
Yes.
So the question is, how do I then position myself for
How
these
do you
jobs?
teach yourself, especially?
Exactly.
So thanks for that. But just to echo what you've said, that how do you pitch yourself, especially? We all know how it is when you come here new. Even if you're experienced and educated, you still feel like you're behind in the chain. So how do you get people to feel confident enough to be able to get themselves as top contenders to any job, like the Brits themselves? How do you do that, and how would you share?
Absolutely. So now today employers are more deliberate in hiring. All right. So the salary threat, especially for those looking for sponsorship, the salary threshold has gone up compared to early this year and even last year. So it's about £41,700 per annum. So they don't want to make mistake with their hiring. They want to hire the right person. All right. So first things first, as a candidate, having the skills is not just enough. You can't say because I have the skills in the use of Excel, Power BI, SQL, Tableau, I will get a data analyst role. No, you won't, because you're competing with other candidates who are more prepared. And how are they more prepared? They go beyond just the skills and they showcase to employers that they have experience. So employers today would not just hire you for your skills. They'll test you for the skills to be sure that you have absolutely, that's a given. All right. But you need to show them that you have the experience. You've done it before, and then you can do it for them. So they know they're not making a mistake giving you that job. And how do you gain experience? And that's where we come in. So we always advise. And one of the catchphrases we have at Tenalytics is competence over credentials.
Okay.
Competence over credentials. So you don't need. Yes.
Watch. If you want to, don't forget that there's a link you can click. Sorry to interrupt you, but
that's fine.
Get coaching from Adeza and the team. Click on that link and don't say I didn't tell you. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So competence over credentials. Your competence comprises of your skills and your experience. You need to show experience. You need to show that you've done it before. You need to work on projects related case studies.
Okay.
All right. So you learn in a project-based environment where you have evidence in a portfolio that you've done it before. Okay. So if I'm a data analyst and Lulu is a hiring manager, Lulu wants to see what I've done with Tableau. She wants to see what I've done with Excel, what I've done with Python, what I've done with any tool. She should be able to go to my LinkedIn profile, find the link to my portfolio, or on my CV, see the link to my portfolio, click on that link and see all the things I've done. Yes. And based on seeing what I've done, gives her the confidence that I'm the right candidate for that job.
And you're not just talking the talk, you're not just walking back.
Absolutely. And
I like that point because I think there's a lot of imposter syndrome, especially within the world. And generally, to be honest, not just IT, you are confident enough to not just land it, but to keep and to hire.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's really good. And there's this thing that a lot of my viewers have always said to me, that how do I shift? How do you move? How do you pivot if you came for a different reason? Is there any way you can help to shed some light?
Yeah, absolutely. We have somebody who moved to the UK last year. His wife was the primary applicant, and he was the dependent. And he worked in an oil and gas company as an accountant back in Nigeria.
Okay.
Now he had looked for accounting jobs, he couldn't get one.
Okay.
Okay. So he
Yeah.
came to us. We have something called the clarity session, because we don't just advise people to jump into the next interesting thing or the next shiny career path. You want to be sure that you have skills that align with the career path you're trying to move into. So
Okay.
we hold this clarity session. We listen to him, listen to his objective, what he was trying to get, and so on. And the best career path for him at that time was a business analyst role. So this was an accountant moving into business analysis. So
Okay.
the first thing he needed to do was to gain the skills in business analysis. All right. So he joined the class, he learned all the terminologies, all the fundamentals, worked on projects, and so on. But more importantly, like I mentioned about competence, every program has 2 months internship attached to the program. All right.
Oh,
And the internship, the role of the internship is to ensure that you work with other individuals, other contemporaries. So a business analyst would work with a real software developer, work on a real project. You'd work with a project manager, and together you solve a common problem. Because in the real world of work, you don't work in silos, you
no.
collaborate to solve problems. So that gives you cross-functional skills, you learn
Yes.
interpersonal skills and
Communication.
communication skills. So, and these are the things that would push you to the fore. Now, for this gentleman, he started applying to jobs. We worked on his CV, obviously. We do that all the time. We work on your CV for you. We show you how to tailor the CV to that career path you're moving into, to ensure that for every application you make, the CV aligns to the job requirements. Now, when it started to get interviews, we prepared him for the interview.
Okay. That's good.
He landed a job
Oh,
with Cognizant in the
okay.
UK.
Okay.
Cognizant is one of the largest consulting, yes, tech consulting companies in the UK. Now, what was interesting that blew my mind, even me, because I've been in the space for a long time, for somebody who had no business analysis experience, an accountant back in Nigeria, within the space of about 6 months, got a job with Cognizant for £60,000 per annum.
Wow.
And that's a whole lot. I didn't think we
That's a
could
lot.
get.
That's a lot. Especially
Absolutely.
for your breakthrough. That's
Absolutely, absolutely. So the first thing, like I said, Lulu's, is understanding the right career path for you. All
yes.
right. And that's why we take that even more importantly than you just going to pay for a course. Understand your past experience. How does it fit into the new career path? What are the
Yes.
transferable skills you can bring from that previous career path into the new career path? Once you
Yes.
get that right, everything else becomes a lot more seamless and straightforward for you. I don't know if
Amazing.
that answers your question,
No, it
Lulu.
does. It does
Yeah.
absolutely, because I think it's people just. I think with the older you get, you feel
Yeah.
like you have to be stuck with what you're doing. But I just want you to maybe shed some more light on I know we've mentioned business analytics, but there's a whole lot within IT, especially
Yes.
I always consider them low hanging fruits. So things that you can easily get if you're looking to get into the market. Most people don't do this just to add it to their CVs. They need
Yeah.
jobs like yesterday. So what would you advise? What fields would you advise at the moment that is hot off the press, and
Yeah.
for people to make contact with you, hopefully, and get themselves in? So what sort of trainings do you do?
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. So again, we don't, like I mentioned earlier, people use the word tech all the time, but tech itself is very broad. IT is very broad.
Yes.
So Now you need to narrow it down to specific areas that are high in demand, number one. Number
Yes.
two, for so many people across different regions, they want that career path that will give
Yes.
them access to accelerated permanent residencies, give them access to visa sponsorship for those in the UK, for example. So, what we do is we take this from an educated, research based approach. So,
Okay.
every single year, we analyze different job boards and we look for the career path that are high in demand across multiple regions, from CV Library, read.co.uk, Workopolis, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, and so on and so forth, UK visa jobs. We scrape all these jobs and we analyze to see the career paths that are in high demand.
Okay.
Okay. And we
Okay.
put it on, we keep it somewhere. And we also know that because a career path is in high demand, does not necessarily mean that it's easy to learn.
Of
Okay.
course.
For example, blockchain engineering. If I
Yes.
want to get into blockchain engineering, I need some fundamental skills, and it will probably take me another 2 years or
Yes.
18 months to get into that area. All right. So we also filter for the career paths that are relatively easy to get into. All
Okay.
right. Now we look at the World Economic Forum to see if there are reputable organizations that have also carried out the type of analysis that we just carried out. And we
Okay.
use the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs reports because it shows the career path that are high in demand today and the
Okay.
career path that would grow in demand over the next 5 to 10 years and the
Okay.
career path that are on the decline.
Yes.
So, for somebody who wants to transition, you don't want to find yourself
Like
in a
that.
career path that is declining because you just realize that in the next 2 years, you are
You'll be
trying to pivot again because
absolutely.
you are
That's very
stuck.
fundamental and
Yes,
very smart.
absolutely.
What you think about today, I always say it. You're thinking about
Absolutely.
tomorrow.
Look at the future. Absolutely. So, and then we distill it down regionally. We look at the UK, we look at the US, we look at Canada. In the UK, for example, the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa. All
Okay.
right. In
Okay.
Canada, we look at the career path with accelerated pathways to provincial nominations across multiple provinces. In the US, we look at
Yes.
the career path with the highest H1B acceptance rates.
Okay.
Okay. And we came up with 8 career paths based on all these studies.
Okay.
So you want to get a career path in the UK, for example, that would give you access to visa sponsorship. You get a COS, you don't stay too long in the job market, and you compete for the best jobs available. Data analytics,
Okay.
data science,
Okay.
data engineering,
You guys are writing down, taking notes. Those of you watching, take notes.
absolutely, cybersecurity, HR analytics,
Okay.
financial analytics, agile project management, and business analysis, last but not the least. So there are 8 career paths that you can find yourself in if you want to get a job fast and also get a job that is also eligible for visa sponsorship. And like I mentioned, they didn't spring up from the thin air. It was
Yes.
a methodical process and research based process to come up with these 8 different
And you
career
put a
paths.
lot of thoughts into this.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Linda. Hi. I just want you to share.
Hello, Lulu.
Hello, nice to see and hear from you. You are an
You too.
ex-student. I don't know if you're a current student. I want you to tell us your experience with analytics. I've heard amazing things about them, so I want to hear from the horse's mouth. Somebody who's actually been a student and how it worked for you. So introduce yourself and share some more. We're all listening.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Linda Igbava, and I am an alumni of Analytics. I came across Analytics when I was at a point where I was really trying to make something more of myself and my career, and my sibling actually recommended them to me along with other options, which I took a look at, and I found that analytics had a lot more structured approach
Yes.
to career transitioning, right? And I felt they were really the best at what they did at the time, and that was what really pushed me to register. And honestly, through the course of the months with analytics, it was really amazing. The tutor, I had a very wonderful tutor. I was in the data analytics track, and my tutor was really amazing. During the live classes, we had a very great time because she took her time to really break things down to the barest minimum for you to understand and follow along. And then the recorded classes during the week were really very helpful to really break things down, explain them, and help you to really gain the knowledge that you seek. So yeah, analytics is really amazing.
So can I ask? You said to change careers. What were you initially? What was your initial career before changing? Was it just pivoting or complete change?
I would say it's a complete change, yeah, because I mostly worked in administration and accounting previously. And so I have always had the love for numbers, and I really wanted to do more with that. And I've been drawn to analysis for a very long time. I've taken some courses here and there, but nothing really concrete that made me feel very prepared to take on a role in that field. So, yeah, going in or working with analytics really created that confidence that I was looking for, give me the confidence boost that I was looking for. Yeah.
When did you? Are you still studying just out of interest, or have you finished? Have you landed a job? I know that they're big on holding hands till you land yourself a job, and maybe even walking you through while you work in the first few months. How has it been for you?
So I am done with my course. I think we wrapped up in March this year, and I landed a role in July this year. So yeah, they've
Congratulations!
been really
Money is
amazing.
out. We all can
Thank you very much.
party and celebrate. Open a bottle of something. Congrats! So how was the
Yeah.
this get a job? That's really important. I know that training is one bit, but actually the interview process and all of that. Did you get any help?
Okay, so yeah, I'll say I got help, though I didn't make the most of the resources provided because I did not go for the mock interviews and all of that. But the sessions we had, the mentorship sessions we had over the course of the program were really helpful in putting my CV together, helping me prepare for the interviews, even though I did that on my own. But those videos, the recording, those sessions were really, really helpful.
Really interesting. And how are you finding it now? Do you feel like the training you got has equipped you to be confident enough to do your job long term?
Yes, I'll say yes
Okay.
because yeah, they gave that confidence that you can really do these things. They are not
Mhm.
rocket science. You've learned the basics, right?
Mhm.
And yes, learning doesn't end with analytics.
Of
You
course.
still have to do your research. You still have to keep developing yourself. But yeah, it is a starting ground, a very good plane for you to get started. Yeah.
I have one last thing. What would you tell somebody sitting on the fence? I'm thinking, IT. I'm being a woman in IT. I have been a woman in IT, and not only a woman, a black woman abroad in IT when there were no women like me. I'm talking now because that would just tell you how old I am, so I'm not going to share that. But I found it a challenge initially to be listened to in a place where you don't nobody looks like you, and it's always been a traditional role for men, and worse still in this part of the world, white men, because white women were not really going into this sort of roles. And a lot of I see now a lot of women like me, and I feel great. So how would you, or what would you advise somebody who looks like both of us on the fence? And that is also for you, Adeza. It's an open question.
So I'll just like to say that the world is your oyster, right? And you can do it if you put your mind to it, really. So, what do you really want for yourself? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years? Let me use the popular question that you get at interviews. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I think that will tell you if where you are at the moment is okay, or if there are improvements that you need to make to get to where you want to be, right? So sitting on the fence will not really change anything. I've been there, right? And I feel pushing yourself, taking something that would develop you a little better than you are at the moment, maybe what will push you in the right direction at that point. So sitting still and will not help. But taking a step really gets you gingered, or let me use that word, really gives you that boost that you need to
Yeah.
push into that space that you want to be in.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That's good actually, because I always say that you don't get anything if you don't do anything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Adeza, I'm dying to hear about your
Yeah,
thoughts.
absolutely. And I think Linda has said it very well. But we are very deliberate about women in tech for us at Analytics. And the reason why we are very deliberate is you have just 25% representation of women in the tech ecosystem today. And the reason why, I have my own postulations as to the reason why they're just 25% representation. And one of those reasons is simply because women typically would not apply to a job until they meet 100% of the requirements of that job. And this was a study done by Harvard Business Review, right? And during mentorship session, because Linda talked about the mentorship sessions, we have mentorship sessions every Thursdays. I would come to a mentorship session and deliver a session talking about, this particular study by the Harvard Business Review. My very first breakthrough into the tech ecosystem, if I showed you the job requirements and I showed you my profile at that point in time, I do this exercise all the time, and I would ask you, do you think this person, you won't know it's me, I won't put the name of the person, I'll just show you a profile and show you the job and ask you, do you think this person can get this job? The answer is always a resounding no. It's impossible. But that was me. I met only 60% of the job requirements. I applied. I was invited for the interview and I got that job. Why did I get the job? That's a story for another day. But let me just give you an insight into how sometimes you give yourself the opportunity, or you put yourself in a position of luck happening for you. The organization at that time was undergoing a data warehousing project.
Okay.
Out of all the candidates they had gotten for that role, I also applied to, none of them could use SQL very well. And the hiring manager needed somebody that knew how to use SQL, structured query language. I was the only candidate that knew how to use it. So the hiring manager was very interested in me. And all through the interview process, I did very well, exceptionally well, and I got the job. And mind you, I met only 60% of the job requirements at the point of entry. So I always tell the women, don't make excuses for the company. Don't say things like, oh, they know who they are looking for. They've kept the requirements. I don't want to waste their time. You're not wasting anybody's time. Every job you don't apply to, you have a 0% chance of getting that job. But you put yourself at a 50% chance of landing a job when you apply. All right. So, and that's the advice we always give. So you'd find out that a lot of the people that have gotten jobs at Analytics from 2023 till date, about 3 years ago, because we were very deliberate about it, you see a lot of women. Women like Ikmat. Ikmat works with the NHS as an information analyst. She was a stay-at-home mom, taking care of her kid. She wanted to get back into the job market. She came to us, did our data analytics program. Today, she works with the NHS, full visa sponsorship. We have somebody like Toyin. Toyin was a pharmacist back in Nigeria. Toyin currently works as a benefits analyst, also with the NHS, full visa sponsorship. You have somebody like Ramat. Ramat was a customer service professional with British Gas. Today, she's a business architect, also on full visa sponsorship. You have so many ladies like that doing amazing stuff. You have Abigail. Abigail was a care worker in Saskatchewan, Canada. Today, Abigail is a business analyst with the government of Alberta after completing our business analysis program. So for the ladies listening to me today, give yourself a chance, okay? Apply to that job. And you just realize that just like me, who met 60% of the requirements, you might meet 70, you might meet 65, but you stand a chance of landing that job. So that's the advice I always give all the time. So yeah.
That's really encouraging and
Absolutely.
a good way to almost go end this. Adeza, do you want to say something?
The advice I'd give to anyone is you don't want to look for a training company. You want to look for a training partner. And I use the word partner, deliberately. You don't want somebody that will just train you and you're off to wherever you figure things out for yourself. And that's why for us, it's not become a data analyst or a project manager or a cybersecurity professional in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks. No, it's a 6-month learning journey. You spend 6 months in class, all right, working on projects, solving problems. When Linda talked about communication skills, as a business analyst, as a data analyst, you'd make presentations in class. Everybody has to do that. So that improves your communication skills. You do that for 6 months, and then you have 2 months internship. I talked about the internship earlier. So it's a total journey of 8 months. But what we've seen happen so many times is even before the end of the 5th month, the 4th month, people start getting jobs. And the reason why that happens is we push them to apply. And I'll tell you the story of a lady. Her name is Ngozi. Ngozi applied to the job for a program analyst. Ngozi lived in Kelowna in Canada, British Columbia province. She lived in Kelowna. She applied for a program analyst role just a month and a half into her training. So she was a bit worried. She came to me, Adez, I'm about to apply to this job. I'm scared. I don't think I'm ready for the job. And I looked at the job description, and they required only the use of Excel to carry out analysis. So as a program analyst with that organization, the government has so many programs for people living with disabilities.
Yes.
They collect survey data from the different programs, how people feel about the programs, and you would analyze the data using Excel. That was the rule. So I advised her to go ahead and apply, even though she was just a month and a half into the training. She had learnt Excel at that point. She applied. She got invited for the interview. The interview was physical. So it would mean her to travel. It meant that she would have to travel from Kelowna all the way to Saskatchewan, which is quite far. So I advised her again, request for it to be virtual. And she made the request and they obliged. She had her interview virtually. And guess what? She got the job. So this is somebody who, a month and a half into the training, that company only required the organization, because it was the government of Saskatchewan, they required somebody with the use of Excel, and that was it. She knew Excel at that point, and she got the job. So it's an 8-month learning journey, but you have coaches, you have mentors, and you have professionals who have done that before. They know what is obtainable, and they guide you through that journey. Ngozi would have not gotten that job if not that she came across me and I was able to advise her on exactly what to do. So it's important that you find a partner, not somebody who just wants to train you, teach you, and that's it.
Dump you off, yeah.
Absolutely. So that's very, very important. Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that a lot of people watching, my audience, will have questions, might want to immediately contact you. I want to train immediately. I want to get this. Please go on and click on the link. It'll be in the description where you can go get coaching, one-to-one advice, and how to start really, because we're only sharing what we can share, but everybody's circumstance is unique and different. So contact them and you'll be thanking me later, I'm sure. Anyway, thank you both for your time today. And for
pleasure.
If anybody's watching and you know any family member, anybody who is at that place now, I would say an awkward position, not knowing what to do, where to move to, what career to take, it's always worth sharing this video with them and it might help somebody. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, share, and thank you, Linda. Thank you, Adeza.
Just for those watching, for them to join the free clarity session. It's free. Come pick my brain, ask all the questions you want to ask. So you have a direction, you know where you want to go to, and then you can decide on the journey to start, and we will help you and be with you on that journey eventually.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And I'll see you guys very soon, hopefully back here. Thank you.
Cheers.
Take care. Have a nice day. Bye bye.